Heyo everybody, Haku here with my live reaction for Tower of God Chapter 556 or Season 3, Episode 139. Incredibly excited, as I always am. I think that lately Tower of God's been really good, like ever since it came back. Not just in like, it's entertaining, it's fun to read, that sort of way, but also there's a lot of complex stuff going on. If you haven't seen it already, I did a 30-minute discussion earlier this week just talking about Tower of God, some thoughts and theories, because we're at a point in the story where, like plenty of times, not just in Tower of God, but in any story, you get to these points where it's like, okay, we're in the middle of something and we just need to wait to see what happens next. But right now, where we are, there's so much to talk about when it comes to characters, what they're doing, what they're feeling, what their motives are, what's going on in the wider world. There's just so much going on. It's really, really, really fun. So that discussion was really good. I think if you want to know more of my thoughts in depth, go watch that. I did that so that because I was like, I have so much I want to talk about. If I tried to do it in an intro before the reaction, it would just be way too long. Like it turned out to be 30 minutes. So the only things I'll say here for this reaction is after, again, getting more feedback, seeing more of what everybody else, what all of you were saying in the comments to that discussion video. There were things that you corrected me on or reminded me of, or like just new things that you made me think of. One thing is that I was saying that, I think a family head could kill a family head, like Gaston could kill Traumery, for example, but you all brought up that Arlen couldn't, take herself out the way that V did. And also on the second floor, when Bomb is getting the contract with the administrator's like, those guys need the contract, but for you, it would be a shackle. So there's always a chance that while irregulars have the ability to just break the tower's rules, they can kind of give their, I don't know, give it away a little bit. They can shackle themselves by entering into a contract. They kind of trap themselves. And I could see that. So maybe the immortality contract is something that they're basically trapped in. So maybe the 10 family heads can't break that contract, even if they wanted to. So yeah, that's an interesting thing. That means that Gaston or Traumery, in order to kill the other, would need to break the contract or to break the rules in some way, or just have like Bomb do it for them or something. But something that I thought of kind of theory wise after thinking about all of this stuff, because I was like, Traumery's story has been built up so much about or around the Wang Wang and Nen Nen and Yusracha stuff, and it's clear that Yama's been built up. We've been spending so much time building him up that he's kind of like, by the end of the series, it feels like Traumery is sort of last boss for Yama. I don't know how Yama gets there at this point, but then again, we're only like less than halfway up the tower, I guess. But I was thinking the other way around. I think Gaston could die. I actually think that could be more likely than Traumery, because let's say what Gaston's trying to do, based on what he said last chapter, let's say he is trying to put the real history of the tower out there, to sort of make up for the wrongs that the Pobedao family has done, the wrongs that he has done in helping set up this system. Plus, he helped set up the princess system. That didn't work out so well for his daughter. And if that's the reason behind what he's doing, if that's part of his motive, is that he wants to correct these things that he's done wrong, I could see Gaston dying, because something else that people have brought up is like, the Slayers are 4 short. Even if they are meant to kill the family heads, it would make sense to see family heads fighting each other at this point. So how is that all going to work out? I think whether it's Traumery or not, or whether another family head or Zahard steps in, I think Gaston could die, and in dying, he could spread the truth like to the tower. Like, say Gaston dies, but now the tower knows all about the true history, or Gaston dies and he frees in, and also the tower history thing. I feel like that's important for Gaston to do. So yeah, I actually think Gaston could die in this war now. I have completely flipped on who I think could die, just because I think it makes sense for Gaston to maybe be a bit of a tragic character like that, to make up for the wrongs that he's done, and then to die, and that would be one less family head in the story to deal with. And the last thing I wanted to bring up is something that Santy Dave said. I had to take a jump cut because I couldn't remember off the top of my head. It was because I had mentioned based on something that Lalzaro had said. And the ones who corrected me, like multiple of you did with the contract thing, Lalzaro did, Elegias, I wanted to make sure to mention those two. But Santy Dave said when I was bringing up, like Lazaro said, I think Gaston, if he's like, I'll find out why I need bomb. If he's working for somebody or with somebody, and that's why he needs to find it out, he could be working with Luzlek. I said to me, because of the Floor of Death connection, it would make more sense for him to be working with Enryu, but Santy Dave said it would make more sense for him to be working with the boss, because remember, right at the end of the nest, the boss told Macheni the coordinates to send Kuhn's group's ship to, and the ship got sent right to where Gaston was, and then Gaston, instead of just blowing it up like he was with everything else, he took the ship with him, and he's now using Kuhn and all this stuff, so it could be that he's working with the boss slash captain. That's who Gaston is working with, and I think, they're right. That makes more sense than the Enryu thing that I said. That has the most evidence, I think. So yeah, he could be working with the boss or captain, and they said that he needs bomb, and that's why he's trying to get bomb. But yeah, either way, kind of still a long intro out of the way. I just wanted to talk more about Tower of God, to bring up some thoughts before we get into the reaction, because the reaction might change those thoughts. As for what I'd love to see this chapter, I think I'd be happy with almost anything. Like, if we get more Bomb and Lilial stuff in the hotel, I think that's really exciting, because it's not just stuff with them now, but because they're in the hotel, we could have characters showing up for the tournament, which isn't just Andrasi or Yuri, and it'd be nice to see stuff with them, but, like, Siu could be throwing curveballs at us. We don't know what we could get on that side of things, but even more than that, I really want to know about the team that Kuhn's going to be going on to try to get Bomb out of there, because we know we have Kuhn and Tiara. Are we going to get introduced to more Poppadao characters that'll go with them, or are we going to get confirmation are characters like Rack going to be involved? Because if not, Rack is just missing out on this whole arc if he's not going with that team, I guess. Or Yule or anybody else that was part of that group. Is Vicente or Arya playing any role? That would all be really interesting to see what's going on with that team. And even that makes me think, because Yule made me think about it. The other chapter, remember Jam Jam and Traumery were talking about something, and he mentioned like a master snake or something, and then the other translation called it like, I don't know, a giant snake or something like that. But I was thinking of the snake charmer, because the snake charmer is involved with the princess stuff. So I still think that's interesting. We need to see where that's going. Plus, there's Laura, who we still haven't seen, who is presumably the daughter of Robodon and mother of Lilial and Chilial, probably. Since it was since she was mentioned, like Kadede mentioned his aunt at the same time that Lilial mentioned seeing her mother and stuff. So we still don't know about her. So either way, let's get to reading. There is actually a lot going on. But we're starting at the second day after Bomb's arrival on Lopobia's battleship, and we're seeing the hotel where Bomb is staying. Ah, there you are. Do you like your accommodation? Yes, sir. Good. Now let me explain why I summoned you. And he has his hair tied back again. I actually thought, and I saw people in the comments saying the same thing, Bomb with his hair down actually looked like that was a good look, In exchange for allowing you to participate in Ha Jin Sung's ridiculous marriage tournament. I said there would be a condition, remember? Yes, sir. This is the condition. Okay, so we're learning about this. I had kind of, I hadn't forgotten about it, but it just wasn't in the forefront since pre-hiatus, so now we're learning about this. I want you to bring me a certain woman after lunch today. That is not at all what I expected it to be. All you have to do is bring her to this hotel and lock her in a particular room. What? Wait, are you asking me to kidnap someone? That's right. But even if you don't bring her to me, she's destined to be killed by me anyway. I hold the lives of everyone on this battleship in my hands. So if you don't bring the woman to me, she'll die. Get ready and wait in your room. Jeez. Jam Jam will come for you. I love Jam Jam. Bring her to me. This is interesting. This is not at all what I expected the condition to be. And like, why does Bomb have to do it? Interesting. It's so interesting that, like, it's so weird. Season 3 of the Serpent Master. Okay, maybe the Serpent Master is her then. That's kind of weird, though. But either way, the next morning. And we see Laura inside Pobedow's battleship. We have this huge mansion. Home of the Grand General and elite tamer Robodon. Okay, so if Laura is his daughter, then it makes sense. Laura, what is it? I'm eating. Okay, we're seeing her. She's on a call with somebody. I'm sorry to interrupt, but the family head's looking for you. He even sent a dugong for you. Dugong, right? Is he back? And we have the Lopobia symbols on her earrings. Her hair is cool. It's interesting how she looks so much more like Lilial than Chilial. And Lilial Zahard has arrived on the battleship. According to confidential sources, she appears to be with the Slayer candidate. What would you like to do? The general told you not to leave the house under any circumstances. Okay. So the general told you not to leave. Then I would assume that means that Robodon is the one keeping her locked here. I thought when Kadede mentioned her being locked away or something like that, I think it was him that mentioned that, I thought it was Traumerei that was doing it. So it's interesting that Robodon is keeping her locked away and Traumerei doesn't want her to be, which makes what Robodon's doing even more confusing. That's really cool. Granddaughter of Robodon and mother of Lilial Zahard, Lopobia Laura. Okay, so if she's the granddaughter, then I guess... I know Kadede called him grandfather, but he also called her Aunt Laura, so I guess maybe he's the great-grandson, then? I'm going. Laura, you should come up with an excuse not to go. You just said Lilial's here, too. How can I not go to see my own daughter? Alright, I'll ride the dugong over to the family leader. Alright, and we're seeing the little dugong carriage that we saw them riding in before. Lilial. And then, is this going to be Bomb coming in? Yeah, it is, for the kidnapping. Who's that? Get back, Laura. Who is he? Who are you? And then Bomb just uses reverse flow control to stop the guard. Reverse flow control? You. Who sent you? Who do you work for? At the moment, no one in particular. And the dugong's freaking out. And we see that she's been taken. She's just flopped across the couch now. Bomb's leaving the room, it seems like. I want you to bring me a certain woman early tomorrow morning. And we're cutting back to what Traumerei told him about her. All you have to do is bring her to the hotel and lock her in a particular room. Simple, right? Isn't that kidnapping? So I wonder if he needs Laura to try to get Lilial to do what he wants. But even if you don't bring her to me, she's destined to be killed anyway. Why on earth did he make me do that? So Bomb just did it and is leaving. That's great. This wasn't drawn out whatsoever. Just immediately accomplished the task and we're done. Sir, the irregular brought Lilial's mother to the hotel, and we're seeing Kitty, and we haven't seen him in a while. Alright, let the branch leaders and Robodon know. Okay, so now they're telling Robodon that Laura's been captured, basically. And tell the Serpent Master that Laura's been kidnapped. Okay, so she wasn't the Serpent Master. It could be somebody from the Lopobia family because they're anima, you know. It may even have something to do with what Yule's doing. But the Serpent Master, I feel like that might be translating the Snake Charmer weirdly. I really think, I don't know, maybe I'm just completely off base, but it would be so hype if we got Snake Charmer stuff. The same day, lunchtime, inside the hotel where Bomb and his teammates are staying, and we have the awkward meal with him and Lilial, a restaurant. You went out earlier, didn't you? Where did you go? I can't say. We're not allowed to go anywhere without the family leader's permission. Does it have something to do with the family leader? Hey, are you listening to me? Hello, I'm asking you a question. He's just ignoring. I know you're curious, but I don't know what's going on either, so I have nothing to tell you. If you really want to know, why don't you ask the family head himself? Hey, and she slams the table. I can't just go up to the family head and ask him whatever I want. Don't be ridiculous. But he's your father. What's wrong with asking your father a simple question like that? Isn't that obvious? He's not just my father. He's the family head. Pardon the interruption, everyone, and we have Jam. I hope you're all enjoying your meal. Please gather in the lobby for a moment after you're done eating. I have something to tell you all. In the lobby. And I love that we are just moving at hill train pace. We are just like busting through this. Hello, everyone. I'm sorry to gather you all here so early. Did you enjoy your food? Yeah, it's been so long since I had Lopobia's delicious food. I missed my family's food. Thank you, Mosquito. Also, I kind of, we couldn't really see it as well when she was sitting down or whatever, but I'm kind of liking Lilial's outfit. I know this may seem sudden, but the other participants have decided to gather here today. What? That's so soon. A problem came up, so the participants coming from far away have agreed to warp here through the gate by midnight. As for the other two, again, we are just moving at such a pace. I love it. They're both internal members of our family, so they'll be taking that elevator over there right up to this floor. Internal members of the family. Yes, they're members of the family chosen by the branch leaders. Okay, so they have participants that are coming from elsewhere that are coming through the gate, and the two from the elevator are Lopobia members. The branch leaders, they usually don't get involved in this kind of thing. So there's going to be competition even from her own family. Yeah, I kind of like the Lilial outfit here. Hey, and she waves, Princess. Okay. Princess, I would have, if I hadn't have scrolled down, I would have guessed that one would be Shilial, but I am wrong. Princess Lilial, we're here to help you. Interesting, so they're both Lopobia. They don't really look like any of the other Lopobia. I guess the one, because of cat ears and the eyes and all, kind of reminds me of Yasracha. Weird. Huh? Who are they? She doesn't even know them. Why didn't you tell me you returned to the battleship? I'm so disappointed after all the years we've known each other, and she doesn't even know her. She has friends with that personality of hers, thinks Bob. I love that Bob is just, he's always kind of been like this. Like, when he was really, really petty about always calling Anak Lizard. How exactly do we know each other? I don't remember you. What? We went to the same daycare center. We're fellow alumni of the 5-year-old's Gray Bear class. I heard you're getting married. Don't worry. I, Lopobia Mare, will give you my full support. I freaking love her. Which means she's probably gonna get, killed very soon, very instantly, so I shouldn't care that much. Being an alumnus of the same daycare center as you, daycare center alumni, is that a real thing? And she just does not remember at all. These two remind me of, if you remember Kan Hong's two friends, that I was like, oh, they're neat, they're interesting, and then they just got destroyed. They remind me of them. Being an alumnus of the same daycare center as you is my greatest pride in life, Princess, although my life has mostly gone downhill since my father passed away. Hello, Princess. We just have Mookie, just full, intimidation. Geez, you scared me. Who the heck is this? My name is, I guess Koyup, maybe? Because, Korean, Koyup. I'm one of the registered bride candidates. Aren't you a man? Jeez. Insulting. Wrong, Lilial. Jeez. And we have Lopobia Koyup. That's right. What? Wait. What? She said that's right? Okay. Good for him, then. What are you doing here? Gender doesn't matter when it comes to love. Okay. Hello to you too, groom candidate. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too. And Bob just being super polite. What are you doing? He obviously isn't seriously interested in marrying you. These two bride candidates were carefully selected by Lopobia's branch leaders. I hope you like each other. Now, let's get moving. The other participants will be coming through the gate soon. Okay, so we're seeing more already. They look more like outcasts to me, but I'm not really sure about this tournament. And the Koyup is just walking through a chair, it seems like. This is great. Oh, we have somebody coming through. It looks like the others are arriving now. We are moving at again, hell train pace. Let's all welcome them together. Who's that now? What kind of people would want to take part in this ridiculous tournament? Wow, look at all the people here. Oh? And is this a coon? I'm not really a serious participant. I'm here to report on the tournament. Aspiring war correspondent and current gossip columnist at Tower News, Ilnak Ropal. Tower News. I forget what the one that the reporter in Towers and Gods works for is called. Is that the same? We have Ilnak Ropal. That must be the Slayer candidate, and that's Princess Lilial Zahard. My name is Ilnak. I work for Tower News. I'd love to interview you later. Sure. I'm not the princess, a reporter at this time. I love how Lilial is playing the straight man character here. None of these people here so far are really interested in marrying the Slayer candidate. Excuse me. Huh? And then, hello, Slayer candidate. I'm Dravi from FUG. Sick. I love their design. Nice to meet. Again, I'm trying not to get too attached because I feel like most of these characters are just going to be fodder, but I like Dravi's design. Nice to meet you. As a member of FUG, it's an honor to meet you. Likewise, he's bowing again. FUG this time? Again, I love Bomb and Lilial's reactions. This is so good. Wow, I didn't think anyone would risk coming here. I'm surprised to see so many people. I came to see what kind of nonsense Lopo B is up to this time. Remember? Oh, her design looks familiar. She looks similar to somebody. Oh, I guess it's... I was thinking like the dark part of the hair beneath the like light colored part of the hair. I was probably thinking of Holan because of the hair. That's probably what it was. Or I guess Kunhin Luck kind of had a similar thing going on. But we have member of a mercenary army battling the Lopobia family at the frontier. Huinya Epo. So a mercenary army, I guess that's somebody... Since it says at the frontier, maybe somebody unaffiliated with the Empire? Interesting. Daughter of a beastkin tribe invaded by the Lopobia family, Flipa. We have Mermaid Girl. Daughter of a family that lost its guardian animal to the Lopobia family, Hema Slime. That's interesting. That's interesting. So one of the guardian animals was taken by Lopobia. Daughter of a family that lost its leader to the Lopobia family, Roku. Look at, and again, whenever we get introduced, I just feel like they're going to be nobodies. Just because of like what happened at Last Station, or The Cage kind of did that a little bit. Look at these people. It's like they're all daughters of families that don't want the Lopobia family and the Irregular to work together. So like what Ha Jin-sung said, he just basically notified people that wouldn't want this to work. This isn't about marriage. It feels more like a proxy war among families with a grudge against Lopobia. But they don't exactly strike me as elite warriors. Yeah, I was kind of feeling like there would be some bigger names here. I can't believe this. How dare you make all these people come here? And is it going to be Andrasi? Hey, 25th bomb. Wait, I recognize that voice. Stay right there. Oh no. You're so dead. And honestly, amazing outfit again. Again, her outfit and Lilial's are both like really simple, but really, really good looking. But also, she could totally mess this up for Bomb, actually. It's like if anybody could actually mess things up for Bomb, it could be Endorsi wanting to, like, selfishly win for herself. Endorsi, what are you doing here? What am I doing here? You have the nerve to ask me that? I'd like to ask you. And she just jumps. The same thing. And then Lilial gets ready. She lands by them. Hey, don't move. What's this about you getting married? What the heck have you been up to since the last time I saw you? Wait, Andrasi, there's been a misunderstanding. A misunderstanding? Hey, how dare you block me? Andrasi, calm down. I haven't seen you in ages. How have you been? Well, not great. Family had storage room on Lopovia's battleship. Inside the dark tank. My snakes. You immortal beasts that bite off your own tails and sprout two heads instead. I pity you. Is it going to be the snake charmer? Now that you've awoken to forbidden emotions. The Slayer candidate and his gang. Is it him? Like actual the real him? Have stolen something precious of yours. The Slayer Candidate is gay. So is he maybe just referring to... he might be referring to Leviathan, though. This might just be... Because we saw, like, Orari and Yorari. Could this just be, like, the real branch head behind them? Or is he referring to, like, Bomb potentially marrying a princess, and that would be stealing from them if it is the Snake Charmer? Go to them. They're on the top floor of the family head's hotel. Kill them. Kill them all and take back what is rightfully yours. Okay, so I don't think this is definitely not the actual Snake Charmer. I also, much less hype for this guy because he's the one I guess Traumeré was planning to like do the slaughter and all, but I really don't feel like it's going to work out whatsoever. If you do so, the family heads promise to give you what you want. Yeah, man, all my hype kind of like deflated there because I totally think like he's like, oh, snakes, go do the slaughter of all the candidates or whatever, and then the tournament's going to be off and it's just going to be that simple. But like immediately when the snakes show up, they're just snakes, and even like Orari and Yorari didn't do anything to impress us. So I feel like when they show up, Bomb, or not even Bomb, even Andrasi or Lilial, I feel like could just take them out. I don't know. I do not feel any sort of threat coming from them, even though we ended the chapter on this. I feel like they are going to get just absolutely destroyed. I will say if this is all the tournament is, though, it's incredibly underwhelming. Like, there's really zero competition here, like, whatsoever. Because, like, Endorsi could compete with Lilial, but at the same time, unless there's some really special rules, like, it just is very simple for Bomb to win here. I felt like it might be more complex, like if Yuri was showing up, if there were a bunch of different candidates from a bunch of the 10 families. But if this is just some kind of no-name characters, not even from the 10 families, and I mean, I guess technically we were given names for them here, but again, just like we were given names for all these characters at the last station who just got one shot by White, I could see them all getting one shot by the snakes, and then all that's left are Andrasi and Lilial. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that. This moved at such a crazy pace, though. It was awesome. We got so much information, so much in just one chapter. It was incredibly good. I still think there's just tons to talk about. And it's interesting that we stuck... I really wanted to see more of Kun and Tiara's group. I thought maybe when we cut to the place at the end there, I was like, maybe we'll see them infiltrating. I'm excited to see what they're doing. There's so much going on with, like, Yama's group. What are they doing at this point? There's just so much that I can't wait to see in the future. And it's crazy to think that for a lot of you, you're like 12 chapters ahead. That's just insane for me to think about. Because if we're getting this much information every chapter, like we did this chapter and last chapter and the chapter before, it's crazy to think where 12 from now is. Yeah, that was incredibly fun, though. I want to go ahead and end this so that I can attempt to post it tonight, as I've been attempting. So either way, thank you so much for watching. Like if you did like the video, comment down there to tell me what you thought of this week's chapter, my thoughts and reaction and all that. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe for more. Follow on Twitter if you want. If you want a link to the Discord server, ask and I'll give you a link. If you'd like to help support the channel here or on here, you can just go and hit join, become a channel member, or you can go to Patreon, patreon.com/Haku of the Tubes, and become a patron there. It really does help. Thank you all so much. Thank you to people who are already patrons and members. As usual, I didn't update this yet. Sorry. Nobody knew his come for me to add up there, but chosen regulars: Edgy Zero and Evan Hawley, Magical Girl FR Nono, Cheriton Student, David Langstaff, Slayer Candidate SG, and a regular Tyrone Beast. Thank you to all of them. Thank you to all of you for watching. Like I said, gonna try to go get this posted. Thank you, and I'll see you all next time.